Do not allow anything to take you off of your square. It's the same thing like what we see right here. Yeah, it's cloudy, yeah, it's misty, but it ain't gonna stay like that forever.
What's going on, world? It's Knowledge of God, Hip Hop is Real, Kid Life Production, KTL movement. We here, know the ledge. January 3rd, Shannon Sharpe sat down with Katt Williams. Today, and in real time, it is the highest interview ever on YouTube history.
Wow.
A black man, two black men sit down and have a conversation on YouTube, and it's the highest,
Ain't even been a year.
It's 6 months. It's about to be 6 months.
This window is on Monday when we'll be here.
Right, so half a year, this man has been able to garner enough attention on a conversation where he has broken a record on YouTube for views, right? And they say attention is currency,
Right.
right? And what you pay attention to, grows. Where energy goes, that's what grows. So we're saying that this man's high-level conversation on the internet has garnered the level of quote-unquote interest where people are still tapped in and tuned in, as if nobody's seen it yet. But I think it's a study, I think that it's a class, I think that it's homework, and I think that it represents background frequency.
Mhm.
You can explain what that is.
I just want to say, I have 3 questions that I want to ask.
Oh,
y'all.
okay.
Just
Yes, indeed.
3 questions.
Yes.
And, I want to get, your understanding of how this Katt Williams effect affected certain people in certain situations. My first question is, how did this interview affect Shannon Sharpe from when it dropped to now?
It positioned Shannon Sharpe to be at the front of the pack. It forced Shannon Sharpe to take himself more serious,
Right.
because he didn't understand his true potential. He was not thinking big
Right.
in this particular nature. He had no reason to, and I don't even think initially going into it, a person could see themselves going uber viral. The nature of it still, I think that it hasn't even hit him yet. And I'm listening to him say this, so this is not just me freestyling. I'm listening to interviews when people are asking him questions and he's still in disbelief. And I also feel that he might have changed his course and his pace, where he's like, I'm gonna have a little bit more serious conversations. I'm already in that lane. So he got a little bit of woke juice. He took a shot of woke.
He took a hit.
He took a hit. Oh shit. And seen the views and was like, wait, so you mean I can garner the most views on the internet ever from a woke conversation as opposed to a mentally broke one? I think I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah. I would say that Shannon Sharpe, was able to, like Blue Pill said, see his value and his worth and whatnot, and what would be deemed as sit-down comedy. Because
As
a new
opposed to
genre,
stand-up.
as opposed to stand-up comedy, a new genre was kind of introduced on that sofa or that couch or the chair, and that was sit-down comedy with Katt Williams brought. However, where I see Shannon Sharpe making a misstep is that he's booking a lot of comedians post Katt Williams, but he's missing the ingredient that made the virality, and that was the layers of wokeness that Katt Williams was able to present. So even though he brings on Godfrey, he brings on Monique, he brings on every single comedian to try to repeat this sit-down, to capture that lightning in a bottle of the sit-down comedy special, it's not giving what Katt Williams gave, because it's not, I don't think he truly understands what he tapped into and how to repeat that in a sense. A serious conversation with anybody is not the same as a serious conversation with somebody who's not just woke, but who has awakened. Because Katt Williams is beyond woke, right? Woke is a marketplace. Woke is an economy. Not only Katt Williams, but YouTube and other people are witnessing that in real time and whatnot. that was what they call a red pill moment, and not the red pill movement of the men going their own way, but what it originally meant, what my name stands for, the waking up of people, the proverbial getting them out of the matrix. So 69 million people have now took the red pill.
My next question, we're gonna go back to you, Blue.
Yes.
How did this affect Katt Williams?
Yeah.
And from this, I can only, concur based on my observations. He seemed more prepared than Shannon Sharpe. He seems to be able to succinctly ride the wave because it just amplified his brand. His brand has always been independent of the machine.
Right.
I'm gonna go on tour, I'm gonna touch these people. And then now his conversation is a general one. He took his conversation from behind the curtain and put it on stage, and now it's everywhere in the world. Everybody's having it and engaging it. I think that even the Kendrick and the Drake situation wouldn't have hit the same, you feel me, had he not set a precedence for questioning, quote unquote, authority, questioning the industry, or just planting that seed of discontent. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was very skillful with that. And then the studious nature, the fact that people had to leave that interview and do a little bit deep dive. You had to do some research if you never heard the information, if you never been exposed to it. Same thing with Kendrick's music. They had to go and do some research. They had to go a little bit deeper. Right. So Katt, I feel that it put him in a place, it put him on a Mount Rushmore of his own that very few people are gonna be etched in. At some point, we ever felt like Dave Chappelle could be on that Mount Rushmore. And this is the Mount Rushmore of comedians who have deviated from the fork in the road. Right. And that fork was created by Dick Gregory and Bill Cosby.
Right.
It's the same fork that was created in sports with Jim Brown and OJ. Right? It's that fork that happens when you understand the true calling of a comedian is the court jester. And the court jester is the only one who can go to the king in the court and make fun of him and leave with his head still intact.
Right.
Nobody else can do that. So the comedian has more power as the joker than anybody else in the court. And the ones that really understand that are on the Mount Rushmore because they have mixed social commentary. There's nothing funnier than our suffrage and our condition. Not that it's a joke, right? But you gotta laugh to keep from crying.
Right. That's a fact. Katt Williams has evolved, I think, spiritually. What he did on that interview with Shannon Sharpe as he introduced the world to the real Katt Williams, not the character, right? Everybody knew the character and was encapsulated in the character. And when we heard about the human Katt Williams and his struggles and whatnot, we were easy to judge based off of the character that was given to us. He could not have done that prior to us being familiar with his characters, because if he came out and was trying to tell his story, nobody would care. Now we are interested in his real life story. So not only did he have tea, he brought a real life story to the table, and he gave you information about, thinking on changing your perception. He came with a narrative changer about what's going on behind the curtain and whatnot.
And my final question, this is dealing with the effect of the actual Katt Williams interview. How did it affect social media, popular entertainment, and foreshadowing of what we see today?
Again, I briefly kind of hit on this in the last comment, and I'll reiterate it. I felt that he created the soil, right? The bedding. He fertilized the soil for Kendrick to sprout in a way in which he has. Where I seen his video with 36, 40 something million. You know what I mean? Like he's gaining that same level of traction the most virality that we've seen this year thus far has been, you know, with content that is more conscientious than it is nonsense, right? So he's forcing a conversation in public where people are now gonna have to be a little bit more responsible for their commentary, and he made conscious cool again. And that's dangerous to the establishment because they have been hedging so much on, you know, uninterrupted ignorance, if you will, right? Of which, again, like you said, we would look at his character and think that his character is retrofitted for that, and he broke the mold of his character, and he made it possible that a nigga with a perm you could learn from a nigga with a perm.
Right.
And then Terrence Howard comes behind him as the prototypical nigga with a perm. Right, being DJ and Hustle and Flow, and he templates the fact that you can learn from a nigga with a perm.
That's facts.
And then that turns everything upside down, because normally it was a nigga with an afro, or a nigga with the braids, or a nigga with some dreads.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now
it's a nigga with perm.
Right.
And that fucks the algorithm up altogether, because, you know,
It's
you know
an
what I mean?
anomaly.
It's an anomaly. So that the colonizer or whoever else has figured you out, is now like, shit, we gotta go back to the drawing board.
Right.
You know?
It's chaos magician. It's chaos magic in a sense. Like what Terrence Howard represents and why he's going viral, and what Katt Williams represents and why he's going viral, and why Kendrick represents why he's going viral, and why Ye went #1 and why he was going viral, why Kyrie is, you know, #1 again, and why he's, because we are in the age of Aquarius. We are in this PEP, post-eclipse politic world, right? And things have changed. And what the algorithm is showing you is that the fifth pillar of hip hop, not rap, hip hop, higher infinite power, healing our people. The fifth pillar is awareness, consciousness, or knowledge of self and whatnot. These are men who are pigeonholed and stereotyped because of their profession, and they are not being exonerated for their spirit or their soul or their message. Forget about what I could do as my gift and my skill and my talent. That's just a gift of God. You know what I mean? What about my perspective on my narrative? What about what I'm into? Why don't you want to know what I read and what, you know?
What about my mind, right?
What about it?
Because if we're honest with ourselves and we look at our quote unquote, what they call oppression, occupation, right? Imprisonment, enslavement, whatever you want to call it.
Shit.
Your oppressor and your opponent and your adversary, right, does not rule over you through brawn, he rules over you through brain. So the white man's flex is intellect. It's not might. He's not physically intimidating to you.
It's not brawn.
He's telling you that his mind is superior to yours.
Right.
And his intellect and what you think don't matter. He don't even want to hear what you think come out your mouth, because he cares not. Because the only thing that matters in his world is his intelligence, his philosophy, his ideologies, because bar none, it's all about controlling the narrative.
Right. Henceforth, why he's marrying himself to AI, as if that's his second brain, as if everything that comes out is coming from his mind, and this is his invention, and it's so intelligent, and it's so smart. They are hoodwinking you and bamboozling you. You have the audacity to accept the fact that they're finding bugs in 2024, and these people just came out of being, you know, sleeping with a whole bunch of bugs. It doesn't make any sense. The fact that they do have AI right now, the texts that used to be in ancient languages and the texts that were in German, Spanish, or Latin, and they're all able to be interpreted French, you'll begin to see the real truth. So once again, Age of Aquarius, the veils have lifted, the seals have been broken. Everything is what it's supposed to be. It's up. The consciousness and intelligence, and it's stuck. Consciousness is intelligence. That's the new flex. That's really, you know, that's the new, when people come out as consciousness, it's the new coming out, right? It's what people hide. It's what people, it's almost like you know, the new, you know what I mean? It's taboo.
It's been their closeted lifestyle.
It's been their closeted lifestyle. But now these platforms are bringing on people who are coming out right on the platform. And the people, the machine is like, damn, I didn't, you know what I mean? You can't prepare them. So kudos to the comedians, kudos to the chameleons, kudos to the new spooks, not just sitting by the door. Y'all became doormats. The spooks who went into the door, got on the stage and blew it up. You feel me? We had enough of them just sitting at the door looking like dude from Trading Places. But kudos to y'all who snuck in and did what y'all had to do. And we're gonna take it from here and continue doing it. So on Monday, June 3rd, we blowing this thing up.
Katt Williams effect. Y'all know what it is?
It's a celebration.
Make sure that you're here. It's going all the way up. You know what I'm saying? Collegiate and strategic dissertation about the Katt Williams effect to inaugurate the 6-month period. You know, we have to, they say you got to celebrate all small victories to make way for the big ones. So we're going to narrate this thing step by step. And this is a milestone. The 6-month milestone is something that has to be recognized and realized, especially if we want to put the remainder of the year in perspective.
Facts.
How it begins, it's going to end 10x.
10x.
Right? Get ready, get prepared. It's coming at you.
It's not how you start the race, it's how you finish it. This is not a sprint, it's a marathon, like Blue said. So we're gonna cap this 6-month victory, and then we're going to navigate and we're going to able to look forward to the next 6 months. So be in the building. Vendor slots are still open. We're gonna hit you with the arts and sciences. We got food, we got music, we got drinks, we got 420. It's up. You know what I'm talking about? Be in the building.
Please, I said, bless me. I'm down on Trump next to Chef G. Yep. Hey. What's happening? Shifting the game, bringing in niggas who lifted the cane. Yeah, spit the pain. Hook, shift through the rain, in the range, 666 on the frame.